You're listening to the Faith and Business Podcast with me, your host, Elle Edwards, from the Faith and Business Playground, here with Bible-friendly brain gymnastics to help make your day-to-day life and business more delightful. Today's episode of the podcast I am entitling the 3,287-day overnight success story. However, I don't know if it's exactly 3,287 days. It probably isn't quite, but it's nearly 9 years. January 2010, I joined Twitter. We had a charity called Give a Brick, and I came into this online space in order to raise the profile of Give a Brick. We needed to raise £100,000, and it was a lot of money. Still is a lot of money. But I had this aha in August of 2009. It said, do you know what? We don't need to worry about finding £100,000. All we need is 100,000 people to give us £1. And Give a Brick was born. As a result of Give a Brick, I then was thrown into this world where people were earning money in their pajamas, doing work that they loved, all this personal development stuff. I didn't know then the journey it would take me on, and had I known then, maybe I would have gone and done something else, because it's been quite the roller coaster. No, I wouldn't really. It's been exciting as well. But having launched the Faith and Business Playground right now at the end of 2018, and I've got big plans for it next year. You're listening to this right now, and you are probably one of the early listeners. I thank you for being here, because without you, it would not be possible. So if you are listening to this in December 2018, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. We're now, I think, episode number 80 of the podcast. But the audience is still quite small. However, what amuses me is to think about, okay, if we fast forward 6 months, around about the middle of 2019, when I've done more of these episodes of the podcast, I've got more people, I've been out there sharing, blah, 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 all the marketing, all that sort of stuff. It will appear as if the Faith and Business Playground has been this overnight success story that's, whoa, where did that come from? Because that's the way the internet works. Stuff suddenly appears on our radar and suddenly it's everywhere. The reality is this journey started in January 2010, which was nearly 9 years ago, which is where the 3,287 days comes from. Yes, I asked Siri, I said, Siri, how many days are there in 9 years? So that's where that title comes from. But it's that reminder that behind every overnight success story, there is hard work and persistence and trial and error and getting stuff wrong and keeping on. And so, as this is the final episode of the podcast before Christmas, and we are wrapping up the year, our thoughts are turning to next year. And I don't know what 2018 has been like for you, but if it's been a year of ups and downs, there are two things I want to remind you. Thing number one is I want to remind you that ups and downs are the reality of life for everybody. Whether you are self-employed, which I imagine listening to this, you probably will be. That's who this podcast is aimed at. So if you're an entrepreneur, ups and downs, they come with the territory. But people who have jobs have ups and downs too, having good days and bad days, and good moments and good days and bad moments and bad, this roller coaster that is life. That's the reality of being human. And so if you look back on 2018 and go, oh, it's a bit up and down, that's okay. Congratulate yourself. You are human. You made it. Woohoo. I'd also challenge you as well. If you're one of these people that looks back on the year and go, oh, that was a disaster, absolute disaster, I would challenge you on that one. Okay. And I'd also encourage you to go back and listen to the episode where I encourage you to review your year month by month. Because actually, if you go back and review the year month by month, even if you've had a really challenging, tricky year, there will be aspects in 2018 that were delightful. Even if you've had a not very good year, there will be aspects of it that have been lovely. That's just an aside, really. But more than anything, as I think about ending the year, and yes, we are going to have next Friday, we are going to have a wrap party version, like a ending the year with a bow on the top type episode. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. But more than anything, I guess, from this episode, I just wanted to remind you to keep on keeping on, and to remind you that thing that is niggling at you, that thing that feels important, even if you're not quite there yet, keep going. Don't give up. Now, I firmly maintain that, we believe in a God who loves us, knows us, can see the bigger picture. So I function and act under the belief that the stuff that's important to us and the stuff that's important to God for us will come back to us. Now, this has definitely been my experience. If you've seen the This Is Christian hashtag that I used a little bit on Instagram, I first started using that hashtag in 2014. And I have to thank my friend Lara Eastburn. She came up with that. She is the social media superstar. We had a one-on-one session, and that was her idea. I was like, oh, that's really cool, because it was about challenging what it actually means to be Christian. Some of you listening to this will know that I have my bugbears around that label because of all the negative near stuff that Christian has come to mean. And if you're somebody who's been hurt by the Christian community, you'll get that. So part of my wider mission is about challenging that, which is where that hashtag came in. But like I say, I first started using that hashtag in 2014, about June, July time. And I was at the time, very empowered and very excited about driving this forward. And I was going to reclaim what it means to be Christian and all this sort of stuff. And then life happened. And quite honestly, I can't remember what derailed me that time. Whether an alternative idea came up, whether I listened to the doubts in my head, whether life just got in the way, I honestly don't remember. But for whatever reason, I stopped doing that work. I put it to one side. I decided, maybe it's not the work I meant to be doing. It was gone. I put it to bed. It wasn't going to be anymore. And so then in 2015, I thought, I know, the niggle that's been at me is fiction. And so I talked for a long time about wanting to write fiction. And so I spent the next couple of years writing and publishing 5 novels. And yet still, there was something niggling at me. This idea that there is more work to be done. This idea that, no, there's something else there, did not go away. And so my experience has been that those niggles come back, and those things that are important to you and important to God for you will niggle at you. And so that's what I mean when I talk about this niggle, because it doesn't go away. And until you scratch the itch, it will continue to get a bit itchy, and you can ignore it for a while, but eventually it will come back. So maybe there's something that's niggling at you. Maybe there is, I don't know whether it's a different business, an extension of your current business, something to go alongside what you're doing right now, maybe just a tweak within your business. Whatever that thing is that's niggling at you, keep on keeping on, because if it's important to you, it will come back. Now, this is quite encouraging to me because it does also ease the pressure a bit as well. That we labor under this belief that there's this really important thing that we've got to do, and we put so much pressure on ourselves to get it right, that can paralyze us. And if we just ease the pressure a bit, if we just take it day by day, focus on the bits that we know right now, but then just trust God and go, do you know what? If it's important, you're going to have to show me. And lay out that honestly to God. I don't believe that God is scared of us being honest with him. I mean, Job is the classic example. Job was full of questions. He didn't get all the answers, but he got a way to move forward at least. And so if there's something you're not sure about, if there's a thing that's niggling at you, just keep going with the pieces that you do know, and then ask God to help you as you move forward. Because my experience has been that it will come back if it's important. And yes, it will sometimes take time. In my case, 9 years. I sometimes think back on it. I think, well, what if I hadn't given up in 2014? What if I hadn't got sidetracked? What would that have looked like? Would it have been much better, more successful? Would that, we can beat ourselves up and go, oh, I should have done this. And if I hadn't given up on that, and oh, what this and that. Stop it. If that's you, if you sit there and you give yourself a hard time because you couldn't quite do it the way you said you were going to, or if you gave up on something and now with the benefit of hindsight, actually you shouldn't have given up on it yet, stop giving yourself a hard time, because there is no value to be had in going, oh, what if? What if I hadn't given up on doing that work? What if I'd done this thing instead? What if this, what if that? No. I repeat myself, there is nothing to be gained in you living with what ifs. Today, right now, is the perfect day for you to move forward. Yes, we can learn from the past. Yes, we can learn from what's gone behind us, and take that stuff and move forward. And in my own experience, the work I'm doing now, I can see how all the different pieces, with hindsight, which is a delightful gift, I can see how all the different pieces from the last 9 years are finally 3,287 days later slotting into this work that I'm doing moving forward. But at the time, it felt like a great big mushy mess. And I'm sure if like 12 months from now, when I look back on where I am right now, it will have a different level of clarity. It's not like we're ever just done. We do what we do to the best of our abilities, and things evolve and develop as they're going to. But you're getting yourself hung up on, oh, but what if I'd done this? And oh, I should have done that. Doesn't serve anybody. And so instead, I want to encourage you and challenge you as you get ready for this brand new year. Forget about what has been. I don't mean forget about literally completely. I mean, you can learn from it. But from the point of view of the what living in the past and the wallowing it, forget about it. Leave it be. It has gone. If you made a mistake, apologize. If there's something that you need to apologize to a person, or you need to apologize to God, or whatever you need to do to let go of that thing so that you can move forward into this brand new day, this brand new week, and soon a brand new year. That's much more useful and much more empowering and much more delightful for you and for God as well. He doesn't want you living and thinking, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. No. So if you're listening to this and you're somebody who's living in the what ifs, do what you need to do to let go of that and move forward. We're not asked to carry all our baggage around with us all the time. I mean, that's why Jesus died on the cross, for crying out loud. You know, he dealt with that stuff 2,000 years ago so that you haven't got to keep on lugging it around with you. So do the work. Do what you need to do to let go of it so you can move forward from here, so you can keep on keeping on. God helping you. Okay? Excellent. And because this is the final episode before Christmas, it's being released on the 21st of December. This is your final, for this quarter at least, for this intake, this is your final chance to join us in the Faith and Business Playground. If you are a person of faith who would love some coaching and support, some mindset geekery within the context of an amazing supportive group as you move forward in 2019, I would ask you to go to faithandbusinessplayground.com/join. Find out more, see if it's a good fit. You've got time still as well. I'm around on email. If you're not sure, email me. I'll answer your questions. But this is the final ding, last chance for now at least. The doors will be reopening in the second quarter of 2019. But I don't want you to wait until then. If you've got big ambitions and big dreams and big niggles and itches to scratch, in 2019, I would love to support you in that. So go to faithandbusinessplayground.com/join to find out more and join us. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Please allow me to take this opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas, because this is, like I say, the last episode before Christmas. So Merry Christmas. I hope that you have a delightful, wonderful time celebrating. And I look forward to catching up with you in the very next episode. I've been Elle Edwards, the Mindset Geek from the Faith and Business Playground. Take care. Bye-bye.